I saw the message at 6:12 a.m., 3 hours before the ceremony. No sender name, no subject line. Just images. At first I thought it was a mistake, a wrong number. A cruel prank. But when I opened the first photo, the room changed temperature. My lungs tightened. My heartbeat did not. Her face. Her hands. Her body pressed against a man I didn't recognize. Yet recognized enough to hate instantly. The hotel room around me blurred, softened at the edges, as if the world wanted to protect me from what I was seeing. It failed. The second photo was worse. The third made everything inside me go quiet. Very quiet. A memory flashed, her kiss on my neck last night, her whispered. Tomorrow is the start of everything. I stared at the screen. Only when thought formed sharp and clean. Someone wanted me to know, today. I waited. Not because I hoped the photos were lies, but because I wanted to watch myself hope. Her dress hung by the window, white, untouched, honest in ways she was. I replayed every small hesitation she'd brushed aside, every late-night shift, every deflected question. Little fractures I'd glued over without asking why. My phone buzzed again. One more photo. Her mouth on his throat. Her eyes closed like the world existed only in that borrowed darkness. A part of me tried to deny it just for a second. Tried to imagine lighting, angles, manipulation. But the necklace she wore in the picture was the one she'd told me she lost. The sheets behind her were from a hotel she said she never visited. And her smile. I hadn't seen her smile like that in months. I felt something inside me slowly, methodically break open. Not with rage. With clarity. I didn't call her. I didn't cancel anything. Instead, I dressed. The tucks. The cufflinks she gave me. The calm I'd always mistaken for strength. Then I began to check, quietly, efficiently. The hotel metadata in the photos matched her business trip 3 weeks ago. The man, after a short search, was her colleague, the one she insisted she barely knew. Phone records suggested otherwise. Patterns. Late-night calls. Deleted threads. She thought deletion meant disappearance. People like her never understood the difference. I moved through the morning like a man underwater, slow, controlled. Inside, something sharpened. Guests arrived. Music drifted through the halls. Everyone smiled at me as if I still belonged to the world they were celebrating. But I wasn't part of it anymore. I was only a witness. A collector of truths. When she finally entered the room for the pre-ceremony photos, she looked radiant. Perfect. Unaware. Her lips touched my cheek. I felt nothing. The final message came minutes before we walked down the aisle. A video this time. Her body entwined with his. Movements deliberate. Familiar. I watched it once. Enough. Then I saved it to the small drive in my pocket, the one I used for vows. When the doors opened and the crowd stood, she slipped her arm through mine. Her hand trembled. Not with guilt. With excitement. She whispered, ready. I looked at her. Really looked. Of course, I said. She smiled, grateful for the calm she mistook as love. We reached the altar. The officiant spoke. Families leaned forward. Everything felt suspended, fragile. When it was time for vows, I stepped forward and pulled out the small drive. The one they thought held promises. I want to share something, I said. My voice was steady. Almost gentle. I handed the drive to the best man, who knew how to connect it to the screen behind us. No one questioned me. Why would they? Grooms don't lie on their wedding day. The screen flickered. Sound filled the hall. Her gasp cut through it sharply. Then her whisper, my name, barely a breath, barely a plea. I didn't look at her. I watched the guests. Their faces shifting from confusion to horror, from warmth to a kind of cold that matched my own. When the video ended, the silence was absolute. She grabbed my arm. I can explain, she choked. I stepped back. You already did. She sank to the floor, sobbing something I no longer cared to translate. The officiant looked lost. Her parents looked broken. Mine looked at me with something close to understanding. I turned away from her. From the altar. From the ceremony that had died long before I arrived. Outside, the air tasted clean. uncluttered by her lies. I didn't feel triumphant, just awake. The world had given me a truth I hadn't asked for, and I had returned it in its purest form. I walked toward the parking lot, hands steady, breath even. I didn't look back. Some endings aren't escapes. They're corrections.